Hello everyone. So, welcome to the Cayenne. This is the car that I'm going to be working on today. This is going to be exciting because from what you can see here as I'm looking into this screen, all these letters and this silver trim piece is going to be replaced. Only because these significant pieces are actually wearing down over the course of time. You know, buffers have gone over this section and they have peeled the silver layering away from the letters. You could see like there's bubbling taking place on that silver piece. So I'm gonna replace it. I already bought the parts, I ordered the parts, so let's go take a look at those parts right now. Alright, so here are some of the part numbers that I was able to get in order to complete this job. This is a 991 Porsche part, which is interesting because I never in a million years thought that a Cayenne would have something in common with a 911, but if you're able to save money on producing the same parts across all your different cars, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's an effective cost-cutting measure that I think they learned from Toyota in the 90s. In addition, we have a 9YO part, which is a much more modern Porsche part. Obviously, with a Cayenne, it's going to be a 958 part because this is exclusive to this car, and that's why you have 958. I ordered these parts through Suncoast Parts. It was a little bit cheaper because they buy everything in bulk and they're able to ship out much more efficiently. You just have to pay the shipping costs. So if you live closer to California, you're in luck. If you live a little bit further away, you have to pay a little bit of a premium. But yeah, I have all my letters in a matted black finish. Obviously, the reason I was inspired to do this was because I saw the effect that it had on my 911. So I have a few material items that I'm gonna need. Floss to get the letters off, and I need to create a template, so I have a lot of painter's tape, and I'm going to label it with a Sharpie just so I know exactly where the letters fit. So let's begin the process. Another reason why I want to change these trim pieces out is because the rest of the car has black trim in contrast to the sand yellow paint, so it just makes a little bit more sense to shave off these silver letters and opt for the black ones. Alright, you could see some of the progress. I was able to remove some of the glue. I had to use a compound. I bought this Ultimate Compound Color and Clarity Restorer. You can't even see any hint of where the letter is, of where the letters were, and that's why this template is going to be effective in helping me place the exact position of each letter. Basically, when I compound, and I'll show you the effect. Basically, a little bit of compound on that letter S. You could see the S starts to fade. You could see a faint hint of where it exists. But a little bit of elbow grease will get that S completely vanished. And by the time I polish, it is gone. That is what I did for the other letters. Let me do the last three. Alright, a few minutes later, now I have a clean surface to work with. It looks a little bit naked. It looks like, yeah, it doesn't look the same. And I've seen some people just shave off all the lettering off their Cayenne. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments below. Is that something you would do? Just shave off the Porsche emblems, the Cayenne and the S emblem, just to keep a very, I guess, plain Jane look. For me, I like the letters, and that's why I purchased them, but I'm missing the letters. So I'm going to reapply the letters to make this look a little bit more complete. So let's get to it. All right, and whatever you do, you make sure you get the template on straight. I have gotten it to what I believe is to be about 99% straight. It looks good to my eye. I have stood at various distances to see what it looks like. I looked at like faint hints of where the lettering could have been in the past based on just previous detailers scarring around the edges. You could sort of see like that's where the R at one point was, the S, the C, H, and the E. All right, so the Porsche lettering is on perfectly. It is evenly spaced, and the most important detail that I notice about this is that there is no gunky residue around the perimeter of each letter, and because it is black, it now matches with the rest of the trim around this car. It looks fantastic. Now to take care of this. Alright, so I've removed the remnants from the original Cayenne S designation, and just keeping the black lettering with the Porsche looks incredible. I mean, I'm just looking at it and I'm like, wow, this actually looks amazing. The only reason I'm not keeping it is for one simple reason. There's only one reason I'm not keeping it, and it's because you could see when you get really up close, you could see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you could see where the Cayenne S originally, yep, there it is in the camera. You could see where the Cayenne S designation originally exists. And I spent some time detailing this rear panel, and the Cayenne S is still there. Like, you could see it in the background. That's only if you get up close, and I'm the type of person that I get that close to my vehicle where I can notice these details. Yeah, I just thought that was really cool. But I know some people who do this, and I understand why, because it actually looks really good. What's interesting is I could see the original imprint faintly through the paint. So I don't necessarily need the template, but I'm using the template as an insurance policy. And once I know that it's a good spot, I could press down on the letters, and I feel good about it. That looks good. Alright, so for this part, or this segment of the tutorial, it's going to be a little bit simpler. It's not quite as involved as this. This is simply remove this trim piece, which I've already started the process, and comes right off. It's also very dirty, but once it's warped, that means it can only be used once. So I am just removing this piece as slowly as possible so I don't peel any paint. That's my fear. There's no going back at this point. right, so ladies and gentlemen, you can see that that lower trim piece is off. I have a little bit of cleaning to do. And now you can see why this part bothered me, because all this bubbling, it just, and you know, it just didn't fit the rest of the aesthetic of the vehicle. This is a very good vehicle, well detailed, well kempt, and this just didn't align, so this just had to go. Looks like a samurai sword. Alright, so about 3 hours later, you could see that I'm making a little bit of progress on this lower trim panel. This was basically all over the place, and it has taken me a little over 3 hours to get everything off, because I don't have a rubber wheel that you can find that rotates on a drill. So I basically have to take it off with the edge of a credit card. It actually is very effective, instead of using your, the nails on your hand. And you don't want to use a metal piece, because you don't want to use a metal tip or a metal knife or anything that can actually cause damage to the paint. It is original paint, so I don't want to do anything that's going to damage the integrity of the paint. Let's continue, and hopefully I can get this thing on. Alright, here we are. I finally got all the glue off the rear lower trim panel area. So now I can finally apply the black trim piece to that lower piece. Actually, they did at one point sell that lower trim piece in the color matched panel if you went for the extended color option, but I obviously didn't do that because, it would have been cool to have color match lighters, but in the black it just looks a little bit more aligned to the rest of the vehicle. And to be honest with you, I don't want to spend an excess amount of money just to paint these letters yellow. It just didn't make any sense. So I am going to find the trim piece that I have indoors. It's inside, and I'm going to make it so I basically just have to apply the piece. That's all I have to do. That's all that's left to do. Cleaning it, preparing the panel. Basically, spend more time taping off and prepping, just like body work. It's kind of annoying, but just has to get done in order for you to get it right the first time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now the lower trim piece is installed. It looks absolutely perfect. I'm beyond happy with it, because this pretty much took me the whole day, and to see the final product behind me just makes me feel a little bit more satisfied. The fact that I was able to do it, and it came out all right. That is my trash. That is the old trim piece. And you can see the contrast. You see the bubbling effect? That is a thing of the past. And the black matches with the rest of the vehicle. So tell me what you guys think in the comments below. This was a lot of work. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and comment down below. I'll probably be doing a few car reviews and things of other automotive interests that are more aligned with the rest of my channel. Sort of vlogging, going to car shows, doing stuff with the 911. But this is a transformative effect, and the car looks much better, and it looks much more aligned with the rest of the design. The black trim, the black lettering, the black trim piece. Thank you for watching.